Oh, I know all of you who have played it already know the thing. Salt and rejection, that's all I'm gonna say. Salt and rejection. Tekken jargon! Alright. This is kind of, I think, a good slide to go over for everyone because it's a good review for those of you who have already played it, because it gets complicated. And also for the new people, obviously. There's a lot of tech, and even so much more than I even listed here.
That's why there's a whole database for it.
I love that someone goes like, wait, what does this mean? Okay.
It's beautiful, the database explains so much.
I'll do the quick ones real quick. The aims and eggs are obviously max that people fight in. There's also the ES, we'll talk about in a minute. Connection gears are basically like the little cell phone laptop things. Those are kind of the quick ones there.
They look like a sawed-off PS2 controller.
Yeah. It's pretty great. I probably could make some. Oh my god, we should do that. Yeah. I don't know if I can carry it on this outfit.
Solo PS2 controller. Wow.
Basically. More importantly, is probably the most important here is the UMN and the Realians. The UMN is internet mixed with interstellar highway. They use it to travel around, but actually ends up having a big plot significance because it's kind of dangerous and kind of some shady stuff going on there. There's the logo, it's an Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail.
I love going but I
guess I actually can't really talk much about the UMN without spoiling a lot.
I can't spoil it. Everything to talk about.
But I mean, there are Xeno babies in here. I don't want to spoil them. So I'll talk more about Realians, which are essentially organic androids, and that plays a big role in the story. They're completely human-made, but use like organic parts instead of like mechanical ones. So their rights to independence are empty as a result, and that's kind of a big thing that's especially talked about for Momo. Momo's story, we'll talk about Momo and her kind of coming to terms with being a Realian, sort of a thing. But yeah, there's essentially robots, is what, that's kind of, they're like androids of a wet sort. And they're very important, so I guess that's sort of a big thing.
You believe you're human, so
yeah.
They kind of sucked how, like, I forgot what's his name in the first part. He just like, yeah, Realians get all here and just get shot.
Virgil.
Oh, Virgil.
Yes.
But Virgil has his problems because of Fabronia.
Yeah, I love this shit.
Fabronia!
He died 3 times!
Oh my god, I guess you're right.
Wow,
Damn.
yeah.
He did die 3 times. And
How are you not dead
died 3
again?
times too. But that's a whole other thing. Basically, there's a lot of tech and jargon. Pay attention. Pay attention is the key to understanding Xenosaga.
If you go back.
Yeah. The ES are important there. Officially introduced whole episode 2, but they are. One is in episode 1.
Because you went it on foot too.
Yeah, because Albedo probably had no idea how to use it. He was probably like, I'm gonna try robot.
I love Albedo.
A lot of people do. They're basically, well, they have a different power source called Vessels of Animal, which ends up being very relevant to the plot, as usual, getting kind of spoilery there. They have a connection to the Zohar, I'll put it like that, and they have the coolest designs ever. Just some examples. These are not your ordinary mechs. I don't usually get into mechs, but I love these. The Dan, the Issachar, and the Nina.
You know, it's amazing. Where's the Asher?
Shut up.
Can I have the pink robot?
Give her the pink robot. Give her the pink robot. Momo has a cute pink robot that she used to annihilate all of your enemies.
What's the name of Momo's robot?
Zebulon, yes. And yeah, all the names are, they're all religious references. Yeah, more religious imagery. But yeah, this is kind of an example. I hope that kind of interests some people because these are really cool. There's the whole aesthetic of the game is awesome. Like the environments are really cool too. Alright guys, put it in there. Just trying to get like a base, lay out the base. Lay out the base.
You dick.
Alright. Organizations. There's a lot of politics and stuff going on too because as I said, this game is very complicated. So the Galaxy Federation is pretty much your standard like government body. Second Milsha and Milsha are kind of big planets you need to think about. Shion is from Milsha.
Jerusalem is kind of important too.
Jerusalem is the capital. Let's see, UTIC is an organization devoted to Zohar research. And Orbis is kind of connected to UTIC, they're kind of like behind them. They're like, they're our favorite religious crazies.
Yeah.
Basically. They want to return to Lost Jerusalem. Back to Space Pope. And they have a Space Pope.
Yes, they do.
Space Pope must die is basically
That's
episode 2.
episode 2. You get
The
killed
Space Pope must die.
Space Boat and Pied Piper too.
Yes, there's a couple of space boats in Pied Piper because
they keep dying.
They keep dying. We go through a lot of model numbers.
Did anyone else hate when you beat the space pope and how he comes back to life?
Oh, I love that. Oh.
This is most recent playthrough. It glitched, so I had to fight him again, even after
We were sitting in her like dorm room and we were like, yeah, we beat it. Why is it frozen? And we like sat there for like 10 minutes like, what do we do?
I don't like the space boat again.
We made good time the second time though. We like zipped through it and you didn't kill it by having Gene slap him.
Oh yeah.
For that.
Yeah, I don't remember how. I think you're talking about. I don't remember. Probably junior. The Good Kind Foundation is an important thing. It's a safe haven for mutants, which are like genetically altered people, kind of against the
Hey, second wish, awesome.
and it's also collecting the Zohar as emulators, which is important. And one of the characters, Junior, is very deeply involved in that.
That's okay.
And the Durandal is its primary ship, and it is my baby.
It's very useful that they collected all the emulators.
Spoiler alert, R.I.P. Durandal.
It's my fault.
It's all
Hey, you
your
see something
fault.
cool, you know it's gonna die.
Okay.
Sure, yeah, it is all your fault.
It is all his fault.
It's all my fault. It's not.
Screw you, Yuria. Gotta make my angry face in the background. So we start the year TC 4767, which is essentially 4,000 years in the future.
TC stands for Transcend Christ. They don't actually say that.
Yeah, it's only in the...
It's in Xenogears.
Yeah, it's in Xenogears, and you just have to kind of assume that it's the same thing. That's why people tend to think that Xenogears and Xenosaga are in the same universe, but if you actually line up the timelines, they make no sense. So, and plus Takahashi and Soraya officially said that they are not connected. They are not connected. But 14 years prior, an event called the Miltian conflict happened, and that's what accelerated the Gnosis phenomenon. So humanity's kind of freaking out at this point, and we joined Shion, the Shion cosplaying. We joined her, and she works for this company Vector, which provides her like pretty much everything. It's like the big company. It's like super Walmart, except a little less sleazy, a little more dark, and a little less sleazy. So she lost her parents in the conflict because she was from Milsha, and she lived through the event though. She watched her parents die before her eyes, like any good RPG protagonist.
I gotta put it back.
I gotta put it back! What do I have to put back? There's nothing there because the US version censored it all.
I have to add y'all about that, dude. I was only one.
The US version censored everything.
I know, that pissed me off.
They got rid of like all the blood and it looks really weird
The
sometimes.
Margulus thing.
So Shion is developing an anti-Gnosis android by the name of Cosmos. My android wife. And Gnosis to attack the ship she's on, and Cosmos awakens, an unplanned awakening. And they get this up in one big journey, and it becomes, the episode 1 is basically second Milsha or bust. We all try to get the second Milsha, and we only make it at the end of the game, crashing and burning in flames. It's great.
Fun fact about that, when they were originally developing Xenosaga Episode 1, second Milsha was supposed to be actually in the game, and you were supposed to get Jin.
Yeah, he was in the trailer, and he had glasses. It was weird.
It looks even more like Shion.
Yeah, he looked like a literal Shitan clone. Alrighty, now we're finally to the characters, guys, so we can kind of get some good discussion going, I'm hoping here. So our main character is Shion.
It's you.
It me.
You
I don't
really
want to love her, so like literally.
I don't like her episode 2 voice actor. I'm glad they gave her her episode 1
I mean,
voice
I don't really like any of her voice actors, to be honest, which makes me really sad because she deserves only the best. Oh, all right. I'm gonna go on and on about Shion. You guys are gonna have to hold me back because, other than she's actually the best.
What
Seriously.
about her Japanese name?
I don't like her. I actually like the English one better in a sense because the English one's less talented, but at least her voice fits. The Japanese ones are like, hi. Well, Shion's not like that. Shion's like a really aggressive character. She's like, hi, I'm gonna kick your ass. She's great. She's.
Especially in episode 3.
Oh god, all her battle quotes are the best. They're all like, I'll burn you to a crisp and stuff. She's like just so intense.
I was like, what happened to Shion from episode 2?
She turned an action nerd.
Have you played Missing Year?
No!
Oh, that's what happens, Shion.
Damn!
She is probably, in my opinion, one of the most realistic and well-written characters of the decade.
She is.
She's really got a lot of layers. She's been very optimistic at first. She's a generally friendly person.
But a lot of terrible things.
A lot of terrible things happened to her in the past, in the present. And she ends up with a lot of pent-up anger and depression, and the story mainly focuses on her struggles with her past and the events she's caught up in, and yes. And she wears a necklace given to her by her late lover, the former chief of the Coast Coast Project, who was killed in an accident. Well, they did a few years prior.
That he playing.
A pretty necklace. Those are spoilers. There's no series. Like any good RPG protagonist, dead. And she's best. And always hotter than you. Always. Especially for the people who are coming into it, I very much encourage you to keep an open mind to Shion. She gets such a bad rap in the fandom, which basically she gets a bad rap because she acts realistically to situations. Because she actually will react like an actual human will. So she'll be angry or scared, or she acts like a human being. And
she cries when it's necessary.
Yes, exactly. And the only reason people don't like her is kind of a big misogynistic reason. Is because she is a very assertive woman, and people are like, she's such a bitch. I'm like, no, she's not. She's a very friendly person who's going through a lot of problems. So it's only natural that she gets a little angry. I'm like, women are allowed to get angry, friends. Just remember that. All right, I'll stop my rant here, but Shiona's the best. Just never forget that. Never forget that, friends. Cosmos! What everybody knows and loves. She's anti-gnosis battle android, developed by Vector. Shion and Kevin Winnicott, who's Shion's late lover that I mentioned earlier, are her principal designers. She protects me unconditionally. Yes, she will wake up out of dead